The Euphrates River has been a witness to the rise and fall of empires for centuries. The river that flows through Turkey, Syria, and Iraq has been a source of sustenance for millions and a symbol of hope for generations. From biblical stories to the legends of lost cities, the river has always been shrouded in mystery and intrigue. However, the once mighty river is now facing a grave threat. In recent years, the Euphrates River has been experiencing an alarming decline in water levels. Experts warn that if this trend continues, it may turn into a dry, barren wasteland in the near future. But that's not all. This event may be the fulfillment of several centuries-old prophecies. A number of reports and sightings suggest that the mysterious happenings foretold in the prophecies have already begun at the riverbed, leaving the world perplexed. So what exactly is happening with the Euphrates? What is causing this environmental catastrophe? And lastly, what would happen if the Euphrates dried up? In today's video, we will uncover the answers to these questions as we touch on the river's biblical prophecies, the geological and ecological impacts of its decline, and the consequences for human civilization. Let's dive right in. The Euphrates is the longest river in Western Asia, stretching over 1,800 miles. It originates in Turkey and flows through Syria and Iraq before eventually descending into the Persian Gulf. For millennia, the river has played a vital role in shaping the region's history and politics. It was regarded as the lifeblood of the world's earliest civilizations, including the Sumerians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. These civilizations relied on the river's resources for agriculture, transportation, and trade, and their cultural and economic prosperity was also closely intertwined with the river's abundance. The Euphrates River once flowed majestically, serving as a vital source of irrigation, trade, and food for local societies. However, over time, signs of drought began to appear. At first, these signs were ignored, but as the water levels continued to drop, the effects became more pronounced. Farmers noticed that their crops were less fertile, and fishermen watched as fish populations dwindled. Eventually, the situation became impossible to ignore, and scientists, media reporters, and politicians began to take notice. According to a study published in the Journal of Water Resources Management in 2021, the Euphrates River's annual discharge decreased by approximately 30% in 2021 compared to the mid-20th century. And this alarming trend is due to a combination of factors, including climate change, overuse of water resources, and the construction of dams and other infrastructure. In December 2021, the water level in the Euphrates River near the Syrian-Turkish border reached its lowest point in 30 years. The news of the Euphrates River's drought sent shockwaves through the media and captured the world's attention, as it was considered an awaited event, predicted in many religions as a sign of the end times. The river's water levels dropping and its banks becoming parched made many wonder if ancient prophecies were being fulfilled right before their very eyes. One of the most well-known biblical prophecies about the drying up of the Euphrates is found in the book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 12, which states, "And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared." Now, this verse is part of a larger description of the end times and the final judgment in which a series of plagues are poured out upon the earth. In addition, Revelation 9:13 mentions that the sixth angel sounded his trumpet, and a voice was heard from the four corners of the golden altar before God. Verse 14 goes on to say that the voice commanded the sixth angel, who had the trumpet, to set free the four angels who were confined at the great Euphrates River. Now here's where it gets interesting, and a little bone-chilling. The decreasing water levels in the Euphrates River have led to some unusual developments, with people in the surrounding areas exploring caves and underground cells. Some have reported hearing eerie sounds like moans, groans, growls, and what seems to be the sound of chains. Speculations, of course, have arisen that something or someone may be locked up in these underground locations. The Euphrates River's drought has been predicted in many religious books and divinations, not just in the Bible. In the Quran, the river's eventual desiccation is mentioned as a sign of the end times. In one hadith, the Prophet Muhammad claimed, "The hour, described to be the time of reckoning, will not come to pass before the river Euphrates dries up to unveil the mountain of gold, for which people will fight. 99 of every 100 will die, and every man among them will say, 'Maybe I'm the only one to remain alive.'" Coincidentally, in December 2020, a massive gold mine with an estimated value of nearly $6 billion was discovered in the town of Saud in Turkey after the Euphrates River dried up, which was announced in the news by Turkey's head of agricultural credit cooperatives. The Hindu scriptures also speak of a great river in the north that will run dry before the end of the world, which some believe refers to the Euphrates. In Native American prophecy, the drying up of rivers and depletion of natural resources is seen as a warning of impending catastrophe and a great war. While the prophecies share a grim outlook, they leave us pondering what could cause such a devastating aftermath. By examining factual evidence and statistical trends, we can shed some light on this looming danger. The Euphrates River is a vital source of water for millions in Iraq, Syria, and Turkey, and its gradual drying up poses a significant risk of widespread drought, famine, and displacement. But did you know that one of the major causes of reduced flow in the Euphrates is the construction of dams upstream in Turkey? A study by the European Commission's Joint Research Center confirms that the dam construction in Turkey has significantly reduced the flow of the river into Syria and Iraq by up to 40% compared to the pre-dam era. This has triggered more tensions between Turkey, Syria, and Iraq in a region that is already grappling with severe water scarcity. According to the United Nations, the Middle East and North Africa are the most water-scarce regions globally, with an average of only 1,200 cubic meters of water per person per year, compared to the global average of 7,000 cubic meters. Furthermore, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or the IPCC, warns that the Middle East is likely to experience more frequent and severe droughts due to climate change, exacerbating the already dire water crisis. The Euphrates River drying up could also heighten geopolitical tensions in the Middle East due to water scarcity. This was a contributing factor to the Syrian civil war, leading to food insecurity and social unrest. Syria has been particularly hit hard by water scarcity, as the Euphrates River has been a vital source of water for irrigation and agriculture for centuries. And the ongoing conflict and the decrease in water levels have made it increasingly difficult for farmers to grow crops and support their families. According to the UN, in 2017, only 38% of irrigated land in Syria was being cultivated due to water shortages, resulting in a 61% decrease in wheat production compared to pre-war levels. 9.3 million Syrian civilians were food insecure in 2020, and the reduction in agricultural production has caused wheat prices to triple since 2010. In Iraq, low water levels in the Euphrates River have had significant impacts on the country's infrastructure and economy. The reduced water flow has led to power cuts and water shortages, which have in turn impacted agriculture and hydropower generation. The water shortage has made it difficult for farmers to irrigate their crops, reducing agricultural production as a result. And the reduced water flow has also impacted hydropower generation, which relies on the flow of water to produce electricity. As a result, Iraq has had to rely more on fossil fuels to generate electricity, increasing the country's greenhouse gas emissions and exacerbating environmental problems. Preventing the fulfillment of these prophecies and mitigating the potential further geopolitical and socio-economic conflicts arising from the desiccation of the river may involve implementing effective water management strategies, promoting international cooperation, and adopting sustainable solutions to address the impacts of climate change. But prophecies or not, one thing remains clear. The fate of the Euphrates River lies in our hands, and it is imperative that we take immediate and concerted efforts to ensure the sustainability of this critical water source and to safeguard the livelihoods of the communities that depend on it.